It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the bass inside is right.
Hey everybody, Basilray from the ECF here. If you take a look at the scenery behind me, it's always a good indicator to tell where in the world I've been at lately. This is coming to you again, still from my luxury living apartment studio in Manila, in the Philippines. Right now, got some pretty intermittent power and pretty intermittent internet, which is ironic because outside it's sunny, it's like 85 degrees and it's super humid, but with some of the crazy storms we had the other night with the typhoon weather that's going on right now in the rainy season, everything's a little bit messy. I'm out here on a work trip. All three of the people that I'm out here to work with and train were without power all night last night. So pretty crazy. I don't know when I'm actually going to get this online, hopefully soon, but I've got a little something today. As you saw here, I don't have my trusty indulgence. I said let's switch it up a little bit. This is my 3.7 volt 14500 battery style box mod. 3.7 volts, low resistance atomizer, got the drip tip here. Don't worry, still got my trusty GLV. This thing barely leaves my hand. If it's not in my hand, it's in my pocket. If it's not in my pocket, it's probably because it's in my hand or I'm changing the batteries and it's still in my hand. So today I've got a sample here of Tasty Vapor's Pina Colada. I had a whole giant plate of mangoes for breakfast this morning when I got back from work, and I figured, you know what the hell, let's not come back and do something a little fruity, mix it up a little bit. This juice is 24 milligrams and it's 90% VG. So just like we do, kind of been the trend for me, we'll look at it 3.7 volt low resistance. We're going to talk about the throat hit, we'll talk about the vapor, well, hell, you'll see the vapor, and we'll talk about the flavor, then we'll do it all over again at 5 volts. So let's rip it. Vapor is real good, especially for a 90% VG juice. That was the thing that impressed me the most. I've had some other juices from Tasty Vapor at 90% VG, so just 10% VG, and they haven't vaped quite this well. My Blue Bulls is at that, and my Atomic Cinnacide, and those don't always really put out that kind of vapor, especially at 3.7 volts low resistance. So Vapor, just because I'm so damn impressed with the 90% VG juice, I'm going to go ahead and bump this one up to a 4 out of 5. Let's take a look right away at the vapor quality on the old 5 volt GLV. And we got some juice in here. And it vapes just as good at 5 volts. Really, I don't notice any difference, more or less. It's pretty much the exact same vapor. So, at 5 volts, you're still going to get that nice, pretty impressive 90% PG vapor. So I'll go ahead and stick with the 4 here at 5 volts. Let's talk about the throat hit. 3.7 volts, the throat hit isn't very good. Just like the apple pie that I talked about the other day, which again is, more of a fruity dessert flavor. I'll give it a 2, maybe 2.5. With the apple pie like I had out yesterday, the other day, or the Pina Colada that we're talking about today with the desserty fruity flavors. I don't look for a lot of throat hit personally, so that really doesn't bother me, and it doesn't sway my opinion either way. I don't want to feel like I'm smoking a cigarette if it's something nice and fruity. I don't need that massive burn your throat, make you cough kind of throat hit from it. It's not what I look for. That's what I save for the tobacco flavors, the coffee flavors, your Atomic Cinnacide. If you were trying to put this up against, same Tasty Vapor juice, Atomic Cinnacide, they're using the same PG, VG in the background, just flavoring it differently. It really doesn't compare. It's not even a contest. So that brings us right into flavor. So let's talk about it. Flavor at 3.7 volts. It's real good. It's great. It's fantastic. If you really like pina coladas, this is the juice for you. If you like those fruity umbrella drinks, you want to feel like you're sitting out on the beach under the sun on a towel, feet in the sand, then this is the juice for you. You get that nice coconutty, pineapple-y taste that you know and love if you like pina colada, What it reminds me of are the little dum-dum suckers you used to get as a kid, you know, trick-or-treating, or, you know, maybe if you were a good little boy or girl at the bank and the teller gave you a little dum-dum sucker. These taste exactly like those, and it's a real good flavor, don't get me wrong. Would I personally run out and buy a full ounce of this juice? Probably not. I can't see myself sitting down with something this fruity and vaping the whole thing. Now, that's not to say that it tastes bad. Just, you know, my preference wouldn't be to buy a whole ounce of this. The flavor is great even at 5 volts. It doesn't change. It's not any stronger and it's not any weaker. So that, you know, is nice. Some juices, you know, they don't taste as good at 3.7. They taste better at 5 or vice versa. Now, you know, I know that I am running 3.7 volts low resistance, which might make a little bit of a difference, but tell you what, just to prove, and I'm not lying to you, I'm going to just took this right off my GLV, okay? And I'll take my low resistance atomizer off my box mod, and we'll check it out at 3.7 volt standard resistance atomizer. We'll take a look at it and see what it does here. So yeah, when you get back down to the true 3.7 volts, it's really not a very impressive juice. The vapor trails off quite a bit, and as does the flavor, and the throat hit, it's non-existent. I mean, I puffed and puffed and puffed, and I got nothing. So, you know, I will revise it a little bit and say that if you really want to enjoy this juice, you're probably going to need to go 3.7 volts low resistance, or a true 5 volts. I've never tried it in a cartomizer. You know, I didn't have a huge sample here, so I didn't want to burn up an entire cartomizer for this juice. That may be the trick to getting it to really bring out that flavor at 3 volts. But like I said, I mean, I'm a little bit low on the cartomizer stash, so I'm not going to try it. But the bottom line is, throat hit, if you're running at least 3.7 volts low resistance, is okay. It's acceptable. Flavor, fantastic. You know, it's not as outrageous as Atomic Cinnacide, but the flavor is really good, especially if you're a Pina Colada fan. And the vapor, you know, when you're getting to 3.7 volts low resistance up to 5 volts, is really pretty impressive, especially considering that it's 90% PG. So that's it on this one. We'll wrap it up. Until I come to you next time, right on your computer, vape away. I'll see you around. It's like the face inside is right.
You know I thug 'em, fuck 'em, love 'em, leave 'em, 'cause I don't fucking need 'em.